According to the National Traffic Information System, there are over 11 million registered vehicles on South African roads. It is estimated that 18,000 people die on South African roads annually. That's a staggering 45 people daily. The cost of road accidents impacts the economy at 307 billion rand a year, representing between 8% to 10% of GDP.
Hello South Africa and welcome to On The Road. Now the aim of this show is to remind you, inform you and as well educate you about the rules that govern our roads. My name is Tabo and I'm your host. You've just seen for yourself the alarming and disappointing statistics about the carnage on our roads, and this number increases year on year. Are we as South Africans forgetting the rules that ensure that we arrive alive? If not, then why so many deaths?
Coming up on today's show, we take a look at international opinion around cell phone use and distracted driving. We speak to Morena Hlajwane, Deputy Director in the National Department of Transport. We also visit the streets of Joburg where we talk to road users about their opinion on cell phone use while driving. And finally, we have a chat with our resident expert about the latest on e-tolls. The American Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that more than 9 people are killed daily and more than 1,153 are injured in crashes that are reported to involve a distracted driver. Distracted driving includes activities like talking on a cell phone, texting, and eating. While any of these distractions can endanger the driver and others, texting while driving is especially dangerous because it combines all 3 types of distractions: manual, visual, and cognitive. The Canadian family physician reports that due to societal pressures, we stay connected via telecommunications devices. It is no surprise that cell phone use while driving is a growing problem. This technological and social phenomenon is contributing to one of the leading causes of unintentional death and injury: motor vehicle collisions. Coming back home, the head of special projects at Discovery Insure, Daryl Greta, explains that when people take a call or try to text while driving, they typically slow down, resulting in the possibility of another driver driving into them.
I can get a text and write back right away, no problem. It's like I barely even have to look at it.
Deputy Director, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It seems as if South Africans are not really following the rules in terms of using their cell phones while driving. What are the campaigns that the government is working on in terms of tackling this certain issue?
To be honest with you, I believe the most important thing here is to start with the legislation of the whole idea, the whole campaign, not just pushing the awareness of it, but also pushing the repercussions of you being able to use your phone in on the road. People always think of it maybe being a car accident per se, but they forget that a child can cross the road in less than a second while you're still busy looking at your screen. Yeah. And those are the problems. Those are the things that we need to make people aware of and know that there's so many different possibilities in this whole idea. So, yes.
What do you really think is the problem here? Do you think that maybe South Africans are just ignorant to the rules, or the campaigns are not loud or clear enough?
It's actually both, I think. I think it's very important for people to firstly see the entire campaign, the entire understanding. And it's not just based on, like I said earlier, thinking it's another car that's going to collapse into another car. There's so many other different possibilities. And secondly, the ignorance, where people actually do believe that they can do multitasking. They do believe that they can drive while looking down at their screen. But the biggest problem is that things happen in an instant. And if it happens in an instant and you are not fully focused on the road, meaning you cannot respond quick enough to avoid the accident, then you might be the big cause of it, and in that way you can lose lives. So it is ignorance, and it's the ignorance in this situation which is not bliss at all.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What are the implications if I am caught driving, using a cell phone while driving? What are the implications when doing that?
Please understand that the Metro Police have now been allocated everywhere. It is not just based on them pulling people down because of their car being unworthy or unroadworthy, but also based on what is happening with the phones. Is the phones in the hand? It's even as you're taking a phone call. It is very strict. We're going to be very, very strict. There is no tolerance for anyone who's on their phones at that moment. Please understand that it will be revoking of licenses. It will also go to as far as prison time. For this is in a way manslaughter, the fact that you might actually take someone's life. That is the big issue. So we will be very strict on that. No tolerance to any of the people who are doing that.
Absolutely. So what are your last words to the viewers out there and to the people who are using their phone whilst driving? What would your last words in terms of telling them what to do?
To be honest with you, business is very important to a lot of people, but you will not lose your business if you don't consider at least taking 10 seconds, just pulling off on the road, taking your phone call, for you will be stationary and therefore will not harm anyone else's life. People should be careful that we only live once. There is no other way of getting your life back once it's been taken. And the most unfortunate part is once you have taken a life, you will also feel very bad about it. So rather avoid such, stand on the side of the road, take your phone call, send those messages, tell them that you're on the road, and then go back on the road and continue.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director, for joining us in the studio.
It is a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, those were the wise words. Park your car on the side and talk on the phone. It's not wise using your phone whilst driving. We'll be back with more after the break.
Texting during driving is really bad.
I mean, people use cell phones for directions on the roads.
Just because of it's not allowed in the law, regarding phone while I'm driving. So must my grandmother die?
Hello Mzansi and welcome back to On The Road. Literally, we're in the streets of Johannesburg to talk to you, the road users, drivers and passengers, to really find out what is your opinion on cell phone use while driving.
Cell phone use is bad.
There's a good and a bad to it.
Texting during driving is really bad.
It's not always a bad thing, phone. It depends we experience when I'm driving.
It's unacceptable. I think cell phone use while driving has its negative and positives.
Cell phone use while driving is very bad, to my opinion, yeah.
Nah, I don't see it as a problem, as long as you can drive.
It can cause accidents and stuff like that. My opinion on cell phone use while driving is that you must be very stupid to do that. Because, I mean, you know that you're supposed to be focusing on the road and you're putting other people's lives at risk. So whatever decision that you make that might affect other people on the road without considering them, that means you're very dumb. So many people are driving drunk, or maybe even you're not drunk but you're sober but you still want to text. You lose your focus on the road. And as much as you feel that it's automatic, you've done it before, it's worked before, you never know. Within a split of a second, there might be someone just driving behind you or driving in front of you who's doing the very same thing as you. So you always need to be alert. So that's my opinion. Yeah, just, if you do it, you're dumb. That's it.
Yeah, I think everyone does. I'm definitely one of those who do. Even though I've got a Bluetooth set, I'm on my cell phone. It's part of your life. It's part of every day. I do most of my business on my phone, and I'm sure that most other people do as well. So I'm always on my phone when I drive and when I'm not driving.
Good is when you need to make emergency calls and need to get a hold of someone. That's why there's Bluetooth devices. But then sometimes there's people who overdo it at times, such as texting a lot, and that can lead to accidents.
There are situations whereby you have to use maybe there's an emergency, someone, maybe your mom or whoever's calling. You never know what she's calling for, so it's best to probably try to respond to whatever at times. But there are unnecessary chats where you have to ignore and stuff. But overall, it's not a good thing because it causes, as you know, it causes accidents and all that.
Cell phone use, it's bad though, because you know you're gonna get into trouble, firstly, and then you have to follow our rules, go to court for such, you use the phone and stuff.
It's very bad because there's no way you can multitask yourself, like by typing and driving together.
I think calls during driving is not as bad as texting, because texting diverts your attention from the road to the cell phone, which is way worse. And studies have shown that texting and driving is really way worse than drinking and driving.
Oh wow, my parents are very strict about it. We're not allowed, they don't answer phones when they drive.
Though my mom used a cell phone once, I was in the car and then we almost hit a pole and I was so mad, it's very bad.
Cell phone use while driving is completely unacceptable. It completely freaks me out. We have one of the highest death rates on roads. We have children who are left without parents because of poor driving. And I'm absolutely against the use of cell phones because, we keep on making ourselves into victims. If there's something that you can do, there's one thing that you can do to make sure that you don't make yourself into a victim or make somebody else into a victim, do that. So what is it? Just go to the side of the road. Stop driving. Don't think of driving and talking on the phone as multitasking. It's not multitasking. It's not saving time. It might even end somebody's life.
Well, I think cell phone use while driving is not good because you might lose concentration and then it might cause accidents and stuff, and then no, it's not good.
Mostly it's for good reasons because people use cell phones for directions on the roads. And I think it's for a good purpose.
I'm a breadwinner. If I don't come home with bacon every month, my child's not going to eat. It's going to have a knock-on effect. And how many people are there like me? Our lives are precious, and we need to take care of them. You go to first world countries, they have so many rules to try and keep people alive. In this country and many third world countries, we don't have measures to keep people alive. Keep them living until their ripe old age so that they can build up themselves, they can leave some material for their children. We don't do that, and it's always like, oh, we're such victims. We are not victims. We can do something. It starts with us. Switch off your phone. You can't answer the phone. I'm sorry, I'm driving. I'll speak to you in 10 minutes time. It's not a big deal. No one's gonna die. They'll die if you talk on the phone.
Cell phone using while driving, I think it's a bit risky because what happens when you're on the cell phone and while you're driving, you lose your concentration. Most of the concentration will be on the phone, especially when let's say when you're texting. It's like you want to see what you're texting and you're confirming who you're talking to, if they reply and all those things. So I think it's a bit risky, and I think mostly that's what causes more accidents. Because when you text and you want to look and then something happens, because when you're driving you have to be quick into thinking, because it only takes a second to be involved in an accident.
Angiyisebenzisi mina mangidrive mara kodwa siyaforce uyasazi siyaforce. You have to charge ifone ulele ukhulume mara ayikho right ma udrive.
Batho ba driver ba dirisa di phone is very dangerous mo ditseleng because most of the time ba lose control because ba concentrate le thata mo di cell phone tsa bona. Sometimes a serious message goes on go high or because outside the tshosa. So most of the time khona go lose control everything because of the phone.
Abanye badlala ba Facebook. Isikhathi esiningi nje ama-accident ayenze ngokweni ngabona abantu la.
Cell phone use while driving, it is not good at all. I think it is nonsense because actually it's stupid because you're risking with your life. More driver or concentrator WhatsApp or whatever the reason ends with the phone and you are driving. Someone else could have been coming on your way and you're not looking. You jump a robot while it's on stop and you're not aware. So it is not good to use a cell phone while you are driving.
We don't want people causing accidents because of what phone. If a driver phone is because of an emergency. What if you know magogo wakula gatu? Bam phone that speed. Just because of it's not allowed in the law regarding phone while I'm driving. So must my grandmother die?
Umuntu drive imoto. Gcina seconcentrate manje phone. Bese khohle ukushayela imoto yabo. Okwesibili WhatsApp. Umuntu ubambe WhatsApp phone kanje. Akasayibheki into lapha emgwaqeni. Sekunengozi engizenzeka ndaba lapho. Yabo eWhatsApp. Akuvumeleki umuntu edrive imoto. Okay, mangena i-call. Fanga zami uthola ispace ngime ngelo line. Ngi-answer phone. Why? Because uzokwenza ukuthi manje lento ezongena la kule phone izongiphatha kabi, izongihlukumeza. Ngigcine sengiphazamisa la imoto, sengiphazamisa umuntu odriver ngapha. Phela imoto driver abantu imoto drive imoto ezo5 ukudrive imoto. Okay, manje ukhuluma ethi sekushona ubani uyadrive ngaleso sikhathi. Yabo? Usukhanda accident ushayisa imoto. Mawuthi ngene ifoni ayivumeleki ukuthi ushayele imoto nefoni. Abantu bamalena the most. Umuntu ugcine drive imoto ethi ebambe WhatsApp. Ukhuluma WhatsApp. Go! Seshayisa imoto. Akasekho la emotweni sekuWhatsApp, seconcentrate kuWhatsApp. Ayivumelekile, i-wrong.
Ya ngicabanga ukuthi abantu abashayelayo abadrive ama-cellphone is not always a bad thing. Singabantu siyaphila, sinama-emergencies we need to attend.
Uyazi nje mangabe udriver uthola ukuthi ifoni yaring. Uyibona imoto isekudeni le. Nenini seyila eduze. Sekumele ushaye i-death brake. Manje limaza abantu, nami mhlawumbe uyalimala ngakunjani. Akho-ke cellphone nje mayikhona iyaphazamisa. Sesiba kuba nama-hands free, wazi ukuthi ukhuluma nje wena ubhekile la uyakhona. Angathi airtime ngisebenza ngemoto ngemali yomuntu, airtime ngihlale ngenazo. Ngiyayifike ngayi-answer, ngifike ngime la ngima khona, ngitheke airtime moto anginayo. Ngimfonele back, ngimtshela bengisebhizi besatravel ngeke ngikwazi ukansi ifoni ngidrive.
For instance, let's say thina njengoba sishaye long distance usuke la uye eThekwini. Kumele ubatshele kini uhambe kanjani, kumele ubakutshele ukuthi kune-traffic kuphi all those things. Even on the road itself uthola ukuthi kubhaliwe ukuthi tweet us sitshele ukuthi kune-accident kuphi awonke leyo nto leyo. So it's not always a bad thing, but i-advice engingaba nayo for abantu let's say la abaqala ukudrive njengama-learner driver bangafaka la kuthiwa yini lama-system akhona la eradweni ukuthi ungayibeki ngoba mhlawumbe useyi-learner driver don't have experience kodwa you cannot ungayisebenzisa ifoni. Sike sibona amanye ama-instances uthola ukuthi abantu badrivisana kabi begcine bedubulele. We need to report labo bantu labo. What are you gonna do uzoma? Kufanele ufone lawo moto sokuyilandela usho imoto yenso yenza ukuthi ukuthi.
No, ngicabanga ukuthi vele uhulumende umthetho awubajezisa abantu abashayisa leyo nto leyo.
Well, you've heard it and seen it yourself, Mzansi. It's very clear that there's various reasons and opinions about cell phone use while driving. Seems like people know what to do, and some don't. What do you think? Either way, here on The Road, we truly believe that all the rules should mean the same to all of us as road users to ensure safety. After the break, we go back into the studio to take a look at legislation development and how it affects you. We'll be back after this.
City of Johannesburg cannot arrest you for not paying e-tolls because they have no jurisdiction on the freeway. Same applies to Tshwane, Ekurhuleni and City Bay.
Welcome back to On The Road. If you just joined us, where have you been? The show is nothing but informative and as well a lot of fun. We hit the streets just to find out what is your opinion on cell phone use while driving. Well, it's about that time. As you know, every single week we bring in our resident expert and we talk about different topics that you suggest as the viewer. And this week is all about e-tolls. Good, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
Good. Now, we all know with the e-tolls since they started in 2013, there's been a whole lot of unrest and a whole lot of interfering from different political parties. And now Central is coming up with this proposal that they're working on. Tell us more about that.
The latest is that the whole system is being reviewed by government with all related stakeholders. The issue is to look at affordability because your Gauteng people are already overburdened. They spend a lot of money on a whole lot of things. E-tolling is not helping. So the main issue is to look at affordability for the system. If they can explore more ways and systems to make it cheaper for Central to administer and also for the user to pay. The very first thing that we're looking at as government is to make sure that every motorist buys an e-tag. That will make it easy for us to administer.
Well, good. Well, let's be honest with me here. Obviously, there are advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
Can you explore a bit of that? What would you say would be the advantages of having an e-tag?
E-tag makes it easy for us to bill you. It makes it easier for us to follow you, to send a billing to your house, because we capture all addresses for all users. On the other side of it, the administrative cost, it's more than what we're collecting. Hence, we're saying we're looking at reviewing the whole system to look at more affordable manner of recouping the money that the government invested in e-tolling.
So Goodwill, I'm Sipo. I live in Soweto and I work in Pretoria and I go through the gantries every single day. I get billed and I'm not paying. What's going to happen to me?
I don't think there will be anything that will happen to you for now, because it's very difficult to enforce. You've got Tshwane, you've got Joburg, you've got Ekurhuleni. City of Johannesburg cannot arrest you for not paying e-tolls because they have no jurisdiction on the freeway. Same applies to Tshwane, Ekurhuleni and Sidibe. So the government will have to establish or amend the bill to make sure it is enforceable. But as of now, there won't be anything that will happen to you. Number two, it doesn't comply with the Consumer Protection Act. So they also need to review and fix those issues. Maybe after that they'll be able to arrest people. But as for now, there won't be anything that they will do to you.
Okay. So with these proposals that Sandra is working on, can you maybe explore it a bit more? Can you tell us a bit more in terms of are they actually looking at? What is the future for e-toll?
The future is, it has been politicized. Now you look at DA, they're using e-tolls to campaign. And with the local government elections coming, believe me, it will be at the center of the campaign, because if you can help me save money, surely I will definitely vote for you. But if you're going to help me spend the little money I don't have, I don't think I will vote for you. So these are the issues that you're looking at. Government, it's up to them to decide whether this is a workable system for the community or the Gauteng resident, or they will leave it as is, but this is making DA popular in Gauteng. There is an issue of, it's targeting the rich, not the poor. But if you look at it, it is actually the poor that suffers. I'll give you an example. If you look at ShopRite, for an example, for ShopRite and Checkers, they have a bill of 13 million every month now for logistics. And they're passing that to the consumer. And the consumer for Checkers, it's the poor. So you have that element, and you've got the rich that are living in affluent suburbs who can easily avoid using the freeway. But for your normal person in Alexander, in Soweto, working in the north and in the south, they need the freeway. And this is your emerging black middle class that are already overburdened. So I think there are a couple of issues that government got wrong as far as the e-toll system is concerned. In this case, motorists are bosses. You don't surprise a boss with a bill and say, this program it's going to cost us 30 billion now, boss, pay for the 30 billion. You need to speak to the boss and then make the boss understand what and where we're investing his money. So with this, everybody was under the impression this is a 2010 program, and immediately after that, it would just be smooth sailing, we'll be driving on good roads and all that. But surprisingly, government comes back and say you need to pay for this. The biggest problem is when you buy a car, you've got a term for the payment of that car. A house, same thing. But with e-tolls, you're going to pay indefinitely. That is the biggest problem with motorists. They need to know, if we start today, we must end at least by next week. If we start this year, we must end in the next 5 years. So there isn't anything like that. So these are some of the things that government is looking at and revising the whole system.
Wow. So how long will this take? Is it something that we're going to be knowing soon?
There is an announcement in Parliament today by the Deputy President. So hopefully, immediately after the announcement, there may be 1 or 2 consultative process to look at whether these recommendations are suitable for motorists. So we'll wait and hear what the Deputy President says.
Thank you very much, Goodwill. Well, viewers, you've heard it for yourself. We are waiting for the announcement. And we'll have to see what goes on from there. Well, that's the end of the show. Catch us same time, same place right here. And that's it from me. Good night.
Udlala jwang ka Zulu? Lana utangitshwara. Lana utangitshwara. Lana utangitshwara. Lana utangitshwara. Junior. 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 Junior.